Hello, in this video we're going to have a quick look at the art of factorizing. Now I've got a little phrase here that I think you should already know by this stage of your mathematics, and that is that a factor is when a number divides evenly into another number, okay? I.e. there's no remainder. So 3 is a factor of 12 because 12 divided by 3 is 4, no remainder. Another way of expressing it would be 3 is a factor because 3 times 4 is equal to 12. 3 and 4 are factors of 12. Okay, so that's the no-brainer, I hope. But what I thought I might do is just replace the word number with the word expression, and that's basically, oops, put an expression divides evenly into another expression, no remainder, it's a factor. And that's also true in algebra. Okay, so an expression, just to remind you, expression can cover all manner of things in mathematics. So it could be simply a number. 7 is an expression, not a very useful one, but it's an expression. 7x is a term, but it's also an expression. X plus 2 is an expression. So all of those things can be factors of other expressions. And over the next week or so, we will unpack that concept of what it means to be a factor of an expression. So if we just have a look over, well, I'll just zoom out now, and I'll get to the other 2 points in a second. If we have a look at, say, for example, the number 12, then we can say that 3 and 4 are factors. If we have a look at an algebraic term like 3a, then we can say 3 and a are factors of 3a. If I look at 3a and 9b, then we can say that 3 is a common factor. I'll just put C.F there for common factor of both 3a and 9b. If I have x and 2x squared, then I can say that x is a common factor because 2x squared means 2 multiplied by x multiplied by x. So there's an x there and there's an x there, so it's a common factor. So that's how we talk about factors. And you can have more complicated expressions of factors as well, and I'll talk about that in a second. Having a look at slide 3 here, factorizing is the process of finding common factors, like I was showing you before, in terms or expressions, and expressing it as a product of that factor. So when you see that word product, it means multiplication. Okay, so let's have a look at some examples here. So 12, for example, can be factorized into 3 and 4, and 12 can be expressed as the product of 3 times 4, or if you like, 3 times 4. It means the same thing. 3 plus 9, of course, just equals 12, but I can take out a common factor of 3, and I'm left with 1 plus 3 here. If I use the chicken beaking method, then I can see that 3 times 1 will give me my 3, and I can say that 3 times 3 will give me my 9. So it's effectively the reverse of expanding. And of course, if I then work out using BODMAS my brackets, I would get 3 multiplied by 4, which will give me 12. Okay, so that's a silly factorization, but I just want to get that concept of taking out a common factor. 3x plus 9b, again, there's a common factor of a 3 here. So what you're asking yourself always is what's left over? So 3 times what will give me 3x? And the answer is x, plus 3 times what will give me 9b? Well, I'll need 3 to make it up to 9. 3 3s are 9. And then the b to complete the term. And so this is called factored form. And it's a product because I've got 3 multiplied by this expression, x plus 3b. But it's a product. So we've come from a single expression, 3x plus 9b, to the product of 2, 3 times x plus 3b. If you can get that right in your head, you're traveling well. Let's have a look at this expression here. So probably the way to build up the common factor is to look at the numbers first, the coefficients, and then look at each variable in turn. So I've got a 3 and a 9 here. So the common factor is 3, and I've got an x and an x squared here. So what we do is we take the variable at its lowest power, and that will be the common factor. So I've got an x there, put my bracket in, and then ask myself the same thing. 3x times what will give me 3x? Well, I just need to multiply it by 1 to get the same thing. So there's a 1 there. Never put 0 in, it's always something. Plus 3x times what will give me 9x squared. So 3 times 3 is equal to 9. And x times x will give me x squared. So I've got 3x outside of 1 plus 3x, and that is in factor form. Okay, that will do for this video. It's just an introduction to factorizing. In the next video, I'll have a look at some examples from the textbook for you to work through.